They called him Saint Marcus, the man who never missed a charity gala, who always had a smile and a check ready for every cause. But on the night of the Riverside Foundation's 50th anniversary, something happened that nobody saw coming. His mask didn't just slip, it shattered into 1,000 pieces. And what crawled out from behind it changed everything. This is the story of a man who built his life on lies, and the moment when those lies finally consumed him. Marcus Holloway was a fixture in Seattle's philanthropic circles. At 42, he'd built a reputation that gleamed like polished marble. Real estate developer by day, humanitarian by night, or so everyone believed. "Marcus, you've done it again." Sarah Chun, director of the Riverside Foundation, beamed as she accepted another oversized check. $25,000 for homeless youth programs. Cameras flashed. Marcus's smile was perfect, practiced, immaculate. What nobody knew was that Marcus kept 2 sets of books. The public one showed a generous man who donated over $500,000 in 5 years. The private one, locked in a safe in his downtown office, told a different story. Every donation was a tax write-off. Every charitable act was calculated for maximum publicity. Every smile was a transaction. His assistant, Jennifer, once made the mistake of questioning a particularly lavish donor dinner. "Shouldn't we be giving more directly to the cause?" she'd asked innocently. Marcus's eyes had turned cold for just a fraction of a second, so quick she wondered if she'd imagined it. Then the warm smile returned. "Jenny, you have to spend money to make money, even in charity." She never asked again. The truth was simpler and uglier. Marcus had discovered that reputation was currency. Being known as a good man opened doors that mere wealth couldn't. Business deals closed faster. City permits got approved. People trusted him with their investments, their secrets, their loyalty. The first crack appeared on a Tuesday morning. Daniel Torres, a former employee, walked into the office of the Seattle Times with a folder full of documents. Invoices that didn't match. Donations announced publicly but never actually delivered. Photos of Marcus at charity events for organizations that had never received a dime from him. "I worked for him for 3 years," Daniel told the investigative reporter, his hands shaking slightly. "I thought I was helping someone change the world, but I was just helping him rob it." The story would take weeks to verify, but word started spreading through Seattle's tight-knit nonprofit community. Questions were asked. Old records were pulled. People started remembering small inconsistencies, odd moments when Marcus's mask had flickered. Sarah Chun requested a meeting. Marcus arrived with his usual confident stride, his charitable smile firmly in place. But this time, Sarah didn't smile back. "Marcus, we need to talk about the Lakewood Youth Center. The one I helped fund? Beautiful project. The one that never received the $50,000 you claimed to donate." Her voice was steady, but her hands were clenched. "We contacted them directly." Marcus's smile never wavered, but something shifted behind his eyes. "There must be some accounting error. I'll have my people." "We also checked with Harbor House, and New Beginnings, and Eastside Food Bank." Sarah stood, her voice rising. 3 years, Marcus. 3 years of lies. The Riverside Foundation's 50th anniversary gala should have been Marcus's crowning achievement. 500 of Seattle's most influential citizens gathered at the Fairmont Olympic Hotel. Marcus was scheduled to receive the Humanitarian of the Year award. He arrived in his tailored tuxedo, his wife Caroline on his arm. She was perhaps the only person who knew the truth and had convinced herself it didn't matter. The champagne flowed. The speeches began. Then the lights dimmed. Instead of the expected tribute video, the screen filled with documents. Bank statements, emails, photos. Daniel Torres's evidence, released that very evening by the Seattle Times. Marcus stood frozen as his lies projected 20 feet high. The room erupted in gasps, then angry murmurs. Sarah Chun walked to the microphone, her face pale but determined. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to inform you that we've been deceived." Marcus felt something crack inside his chest. The mask he'd worn for so long, the carefully constructed facade of goodness, began to crumble. And what terrified him most wasn't the exposure. It was the realization that he'd worn the mask so long, he couldn't remember who he'd been without it. He tried to speak, to explain, to spin one more story, but the words that came out surprised even him. "I don't know when I stopped being real," he said, his voice barely audible over the microphone. The room fell silent. "Maybe I never was. I wanted people to think I was good so badly that I forgot to actually be good." Caroline's hand slipped from his arm. She walked away without looking back. The legal consequences came swiftly. Fraud charges, tax evasion. Marcus's real estate empire collapsed within months. But the social consequences cut deeper. In a city where reputation was everything, he became invisible. People he'd known for years crossed the street to avoid him. 6 months later, Marcus stood in a very different kind of line at a soup kitchen serving meals. Not for publicity, not for tax benefits. The cameras were gone. There was no one to impress. An older man with weathered hands accepted his bowl of soup and looked Marcus in the eye. "You're that guy from the news, aren't you?" Marcus nodded, expecting anger or disgust. "Rough fall," the man said. Then, surprisingly, "But you're here now. That's something." Marcus served 300 meals that day. His back ached. His feet hurt. No one thanked him. No one took his picture. And for the first time in 20 years, something inside him felt almost clean. 2 years later, Marcus ran a small nonprofit, a real one this time. His office was a converted garage. His salary barely covered rent. The Seattle elite had moved on, forgotten him, or actively shunned him. But the people he served, the ones who'd never had masks to wear in the first place, they knew him now. The real him. He'd lost everything pretending to be good. But in losing everything, he'd finally learned what goodness actually cost. The moral of the story. True character isn't found in the face we show the world. It's forged in the choices we make when no one's watching. Marcus spent years building a reputation on lies, believing that the appearance of goodness was enough. But integrity isn't a performance. It's not the applause we receive or the recognition we chase. It's who we are in the quiet moments, in the small decisions, when there's no reward except knowing we did the right thing. The mask will always break eventually. The only question is, when it does, what will people find underneath? The real tragedy isn't being exposed as a fraud. It's living your entire life as one and never knowing who you might have actually been.